Unfortunately for all of us, it seems like the Avengers won't be reassembling anytime soon. The MCU is busy bringing in new versions of Captain America, Black Widow, Hawkeye, and Thor who will likely avenge something in Phase 5. In the meantime, we need a new Marvel team to defend the world against massive threats. That team is almost certainly going to be the infamous Marvel squad of supervillains and heroes alike called the Thunderbolts. Who's going to be on the squad? Let's get into it right now. If there's one reason why the Thunderbolts seem like a good bet to appear on the big or small screen in the next few years, it's that they are often led by Baron Zemo himself. While Zemo was an underloved criminal mastermind in Civil War who was overshadowed in the MCU Hall of Fame by the likes of Loki and Thanos, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier rebranded him as a stylish, devious millionaire who was as wicked on the dance floor as he was in combat. Zemo became a full-blown internet sensation despite his short runtime in the series. I think Marvel will absolutely strike while the iron is hot and give Zemo a television show of his own. Zemo might be recruited out of prison by Thunderbolt Ross to lead a team of morally questionable heroes and villains to take out some sort of superhuman threat Zemo would be eager to rid the world of. If I were Kevin Feige, and man I wish I was, I'd be throwing money at that right now. No one seems to know where they stand with John Walker after the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. When he was introduced, everyone immediately hated him on sight for trying to be the new Captain America. Then we got to know him and discovered that he was a pretty chill guy. Then we got to know him more and discovered that no, he was not chill at all. No character since Loki has jumped back and forth across the hero/villain line that Walker has, which makes him a perfect addition to the morally ambiguous Thunderbolts. In the final episode, Walker was given a second chance to be a superhero with a new costume and codename, USAgent. While he might seem like the ideal candidate to lead a team, we all know that he's a powder keg waiting to blow. What could possibly be better for villainous Avengers than an unstable Captain America? Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross is one of the MCU's oldest characters. After his appearance in The Incredible Hulk, the character was dusted off for Captain America's Civil War, where he became the de facto authority figure for the Avengers to rebel against. He's basically the government equivalent of a principal in an 80s high school movie. Comic book fans know that there's much more potential to the character though. Ross has literally faced his worst nightmare by becoming the thing he hates most, the Hulk. The Red Hulk, like USAgent, is a retooled take on a classic Avenger.
Avengers, assemble!
It would be interesting to see a scenario where it's revealed that Ross continued trying to make Hulk soldiers with Blonsky's blood. He could then take the serum to keep enemies from taking it, transforming him into a giant red monster. The Red Hulk would seriously upgrade the team's power level while also giving them a perfect enemy to team up against when he inevitably loses control. More than that, it would be fascinating to see the superhero authority figure faced with becoming an uncontrollable monster himself. Marvel is being uncharacteristically tight-lipped about the main villain in Black Widow. At this point, we don't even know what actor's behind that mask. If you're at all familiar with Taskmaster, you know that he has the potential to become one of the MCU's greatest threats. A warrior who has studied and mastered the fighting techniques of other enhanced fighters could be a great enemy or an even greater teammate. He has all the skills of Hawkeye, Captain America, Black Panther, Black Widow, and probably even Spider-Man. He would be the perfect jack-of-all-trades fighter for the Thunderbolts. You know, assuming that he survives Black Widow, that is. There's literally no team that couldn't benefit from a little Deadpool. We've seen him join forces with the likes of the Avengers, the X-Men, and most notably the Uncanny X-Force over the years. He brings with him a ton of fighting skill, a mastery of several forms of weaponry, and a healing factor that enables him to take a ton of damage only to walk it off, though possibly with newly formed baby feet. Most importantly, Wade Wilson brings along his sense of humor, which can add some much-needed levity to any end-of-the-world situation. Deadpool is coming to the MCU. Why not milk him as much as humanly possible? You just know Ryan Reynolds would say yes to pretty much anything that allows him to jump into that red costume again. There is no MCU villain fans have hoped would make a resurgence more than Emil Blonsky. While The Incredible Hulk is a divisive film for many, that one scene where Blonsky charges at the Hulk with Captain America levels of super soldier strength and agility is a Hall of Fame moment. His transformation into the Abomination may not have been easy on the eyes, but CGI has come a long way since 2008. It would be interesting to see Blonsky go up against the likes of Zemo and John Walker while trying to find any way to transform into the Abomination again. Chances are, if Blonsky joins the team, he'll probably turn on them before the end and become a villain they have to take down. Red Hulk versus the Abomination is something we have to see at some point. Rumor has it that the She-Hulk series will be reintroducing Blonsky to the MCU. Hopefully they serve him up for the Thunderbolts by the show's end. Ant-Man and the Wasp may not be the biggest MCU film, but it did introduce a villain with a lot of potential. Ava Starr was a former S.H.I.E.L.D. Black Ops agent who was used for shady clandestine activities thanks to her ability to phase through matter. She was a brutal warrior with a tragic backstory Pym and the gang promised to fix. The only problem is that while they were attempting to fix Ghost's powers, Thanos snapped half the universe's population out of existence before they could finish. Chances are, if Ava wasn't dusted, she'd likely had to find a way to survive once again. With nowhere else to turn, she probably had to return to shady government service in exchange for help with her body horror. Ghost would be a no-brainer for the Thunderbolts, as both her power set and her layered character make her a dynamic addition to the team. It seems inevitable that she'll show up at some point, and what better place? While it seems like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Inhumans were quickly decanonized by Marvel, fans will not allow them to do the same to the beloved Netflix Marvel heroes. Daredevil, Luke Cage, and Jessica Jones are likely to at least make a cameo at some point in the future of the MCU. Along with them, Jon Bernthal's intense take on the Punisher deserves his place as a major player for Marvel. It's easy to see a world where Frank Castle has been arrested once again and gets drafted into the Thunderbolts. His brutal skill set would make him perfect for the team, but the real reason he needs to join them is how much he would hate literally every other member of the team. It would be amazing to see him and John Walker have to confront how similar they are before coming to blows. I know that John is a super soldier, but honestly, my money would be on Castle. Iron Man 2 was a rocky sequel to Marvel's first big superhero hit. It did provide one incredible performance by a villain who desperately needs to make his big return. And no, I'm not talking about you, Ivan Vanko. Sam Rockwell's glorious performance as the dollar store Tony Stark, Justin Hammer, only scratched the potential he has for Marvel. He could easily act as the team's benefactor, providing them all with sketchy weapons and tech that fails right when they need it the most. This could actually provide a good deal of dramatic tension, as the team would have to come up with creative solutions once Hammer's tech falls apart in the middle of a mission. The world needs someone to step into Tony Stark's shoes, and there's no one worse for the job than Justin Hammer. If there's going to be a Thunderbolts series or movie in the MCU, then they would have to introduce some new characters in addition to reusing a few older ones. There are plenty of solid candidates to choose from. There's Moonstone, who often acts as a darker take on Carol Danvers, the Beetle, who jets around in his own Iron Man-style battle armor, and Atlas, who can change his size like Ant-Man. For my money, though, there's one character who has been patiently waiting in the wings for his big MCU debut that the Thunderbolts should capitalize on: Norman Osborn. He could be shown working for Ross. Perhaps Oscorp nabbed the RAF government contract and the prison is under his control. He could be the one who selected the team in the first place. Of course, they would inevitably discover that he was using them to serve his own ends. There's just no way Norman Osborn would be in your movie or TV show without becoming the main villain by the end. The final episodes could even see Norman get into the lab accident that we know inevitably turns him into the Green Goblin. Hey, if Sony isn't going to use him again, why not let Disney have a chance? Once a Thunderbolts team has been established, the sky's the limit on what could come next. They could evolve into the Dark Avengers or even the Masters of Evil, whatever name they call themselves. As long as they fight against the new Avengers, led by Sam Wilson's shiny new Captain America, I think we'll be in for a treat.